On this episode of the Headache Channel, 10 tips to tackle travel headaches. Welcome to the Headache Channel. I'm Dr. Alexander Krob. I'm a full-time board-certified headache medicine doctor, and I've helped thousands of people living with headache live better. In this episode, we'll help you live better with our 10 tips to tackle travel headaches. Tip number 1, stay hydrated. Use a reusable water bottle or canteen. If you don't have one or you forgot it, buy a bottle of water and reuse the plastic bottle. Either way, refill them from a safe water supply no matter where you travel. At the airport, don't forget to empty it before you go through airport security and fill it up on the other side. Most major U.S. airports have refilling stations. In planes and trains, tap water is not drinkable, but the tap water on major cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Holland America, Princess, and others is totally drinkable. Tap water outside the United States, Canada, and Western European countries is probably not safe. You could buy bottled water, but be aware that in some places there's a cottage industry of taking discarded bottles from the trash, refilling them from the tap, and selling them back to tourists. Instead, you may want to try what I do, which is this. This is a $20 ultra-portable water filter that can filter up to 100,000 gallons and removes 99.99999% of bacteria and other creepy crawlies. I'll put a link to this filter in the description below. Tip number 2, avoid high-altitude headaches. Does a plane flight, no matter how short, trigger your headaches? Many people with headaches are sensitive to altitudes above 6,000 feet or so. Most airplanes are pressurized to resemble an altitude of around 7,000 feet, which is about the same altitude as Machu Picchu in the Andes Mountains of Peru. This can trigger or worsen headaches in susceptible people. On the other hand, the Airbus A380, A350, and the Boeing 787 Dreamliner can maintain a pressure closer to 6,000 feet of elevation, which can make for a much more comfortable flight. The travel booking site Kayak lets you search for flights on specific types of aircraft, so you can set off for a destination and not set off your headaches. If your headaches are triggered by altitude and you can't choose your aircraft, or you are going to be staying at a place above 6,000 feet or so, talk to your doctor about a medicine called acetazolamide, or Diamox. This medicine is used to prevent or treat altitude sickness and may prevent altitude headaches. For my patients with headaches triggered by flying, I often recommend starting acetazolamide a few days before a flight and stopping it a few days after. If their destination is above 6,000 feet or so, I often recommend staying on acetazolamide until they return home. Tip number 3, avoid excessive alcohol. If you're one of those people whose headaches are triggered by alcohol, it's probably pretty easy to avoid alcohol when you're at home. But it can be hard when you're on vacation. It's even more important if you're on a cruise that has offered you the option of a free drinks package. It may be less tempting to cut loose and splice the main brace if you knew that the free drinks package isn't actually free. It can add $300 or more to the price of your cruise. Even though the drinks are free, the cruise line will charge you a gratuity of 15 to 18% on the full price of the drinks package for each adult in your cabin. You may want to choose a different perk and save your $300 if you want to avoid this common vacation headache cause. Tip number 4, always, always, always get travel insurance. If you have migraine, cluster headache, or other serious headache condition, you know that an attack can cause you to miss a day of work or school. Your headaches could also force you to cancel, delay, or cut short your vacation. If you booked flights, a cruise, or an all-inclusive holiday, you could lose not only your vacation but thousands of dollars. If you're on vacation and you need urgent medical care from the cruise ship medical clinic or from a foreign medical facility, it could cost you thousands of dollars. And if you're visiting the United States from overseas and need to be seen in an American medical clinic or hospital, it could cost you even more. Never ever invest money or time in a vacation without getting comprehensive travel insurance that covers trip cancellation and disruption and medical care. I put a link in the description below to a site that I have used for the past 20 years to buy my travel insurance. Don't leave home without it. Tip number 5, take a vacation from your vacation. Yeah, I know, you're going on vacation to leave your headaches behind. But let's face it, vacations can be really stressful and they can trigger headaches in people who are susceptible. There's the change in routine, sleep, and diet. There's the urge to get the most out of your time and money by seeing and doing everything your destination has to offer. And if you're visiting family or traveling with friends, there's the stress of feeling that you have to be your best self all the time. To avoid stressing out and triggering headaches during a vacation, schedule quiet time every day. A vacation that leaves you exhausted and headachy wasn't really a vacation at all. Tip number 6, know which countries consider your headache treatments to be illegal. People with migraine, cluster headache, or other severe forms of headache will be traveling with their headache treatments. Medicines that are commonly prescribed or even available over the counter in the United States can be illegal in other countries. In Japan, codeine and decongestants are illegal. In the United Arab Emirates, visitors have been arrested and even jailed for bringing their own prescription narcotics. To stay out of trouble, check with the foreign embassy of any country you plan to visit. Some countries only allow a 30-day supply of medicines. You may be required to carry a prescription, a letter from your doctor, or a medical certificate. If your medicine is banned from a country that you plan to visit, talk to your doctor about alternatives. Tip number 7, avoid long lines and delays at security and border crossings by doing some simple preparations. Some of the most stressful parts of any vacation can involve transportation security and border crossings. Long lines and inspections are really stressful. If you're traveling outside the country, make sure you have a passport for yourself and everyone else traveling with you, even those kids, and make sure your passports are good for 6 months beyond your return. To avoid lines, consider registering for services like Global Entry, which speeds up customs and immigration, PreCheck, which speeds up TSA screening, and Clear, which uses biometrics like retinal scans and fingerprints to put you at the head of the security line. Tip number 8. Don't skip your headache prevention treatment when you're traveling or on vacation. If you're on prevention treatments for your headaches, you should know that these treatments work best if taken regularly. Missing or postponing a treatment can not only make you more likely to have a headache attack during your vacation, it can also take weeks or months to get back on track. So, people who are getting Botox for migraine prevention, which has a very rigid treatment schedule, should expect to plan their vacations around their Botox, not the other way around. People who take platform medicines like topiramate, propranolol, amitriptyline, and divalproex should take them as prescribed throughout their vacation. If they don't have enough medicine to last until they get back, they should get approval from their doctor and insurance company for early refills and take those with them on their trip. People who take Aimovig or Emgality can leave these medicines at room temperature for up to 7 days, which makes it possible to bring these treatments on vacations that are up to 5 weeks long. People who take Ajovy can only leave it unrefrigerated for a day, so it's not something to take along on vacation. But Ajovy is the only CGRP injectable treatment that has a quarterly dosing option. That means you can take a single treatment of 3 injections and not have to take another dose for 3 months. Tip number 9, avoid jet lag. Jet lag happens because your body's internal clock is in sync with your home time zone, and it takes a while for it to catch up to the time zone of your destination. It usually takes your body 1 day to recover from crossing one time zone. Time zone changes and jet lag can really drive headaches crazy. Jet lag and how to avoid it is complicated, and it depends on whether you're traveling east or west and how many time zones you are crossing. When I travel, I use a website called Jet Lag Rooster. All I have to do is enter a few details about my travel, and it gives me a plan on how I can prepare for and beat jet lag before I even leave home. Tip number 10, mini prevention. For my patients with really intractable travel-related headaches, usually the kind involving airline travel, I recommend what I call mini prevention. That is a long-acting triptan, either rizatriptan or naratriptan. They take 1 pill a day starting the day before they plan to travel, and they continue for a couple of days after they've arrived. You repeat the process on the way home. I also have a hunch that the new GPANT medicines like Ubrelvy could be used in this way, but I haven't tried it yet. I hope you enjoyed these 10 tips to tackle travel headaches. If you have your own travel-related headache tips, please tell us in the comments section below. I'll post a link to additional episodes up here. Please remember to subscribe. Subscribing costs you nothing, but means everything to us. It tells YouTube and the world that headaches really matter. Lastly, Please remember that the Headache Channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not medical advice. If you need medical advice, please see your doctor. Until next time, I'm Dr. Alexander Kroeb.